Cozy on me, kid.
You good?
As Democrats face off in the battleground state of Michigan.
You don't know that,
Second
Bernie.
of all,
I
do know when I wrote the damn bill.
We're with voters across the state, from a watch party
That's why I like Bernie. He's at least honest about it.
to the neighborhood bowling alley,
I like to see a woman president. I like Elizabeth Warren.
even a local bakery.
The only way we'll be able to win this election as Democrats is if young people vote.
For people here, their vote packs an extra punch. Michigan is a make-or-break state on the road to the White House. With this in mind, the 20 presidential candidates clashing over 2 days.
I think Democrats win when we run on real solutions, not impossible promises.
You know, I don't understand why anybody goes to all the trouble of running for president of the United States just to talk about what we really can't do and shouldn't fight for.
Tonight, Vice President Joe Biden, flanked on stage by Senators Kamala Harris and Cory Booker, and taking on issues like crime.
There was nothing done for the entire 8 years he was mayor. There was nothing done to deal with the police department that was corrupt. Why did you announce on the first day a zero-tolerance policy of stop and frisk and hire Rudy Giuliani's guy in 2007 when I was trying to get rid of the crack cocaine?
Mr. Vice President, there's a saying in my community, you're dipping into the Kool-Aid and you don't even know the flavor. You need to...
And once again, the contentious issue of public busing.
When Vice President Biden was in the United States Senate working with segregationists to oppose busing, which was the vehicle by which we would integrate America's public schools, had I been in the United States Senate at that time, I would have been completely on the other side of the aisle. And let's be clear about this. Had those segregationists their way, I would not be a member of the United States Senate, Cory Booker would not be a member of the United States Senate, and Barack Obama would not have been in a position to nominate him to the title he now holds.
When Senator Harris was the Attorney General for 8 years in the state of California, there were two of the most segregated school districts in the country, in Los Angeles and in San Francisco. And she did not, I didn't see a single solitary time she brought a case against them to desegregate them.
This is simply not true.
Hi, that's all.
Some of these presidential candidates left the debate stage and headed just miles up the road to Macomb County. It's a swing county in every sense. In 2016, it was Macomb that most agree won Donald Trump the entire state.
We voted for Obama twice, and that made me proud of this country. And then for voting for Trump, to me, it's that people didn't really know which way to go.
All right, let's do it.
Lou, a Democrat, said ever since Trump got elected, there are certain topics he just won't bring up.
Half these people here, we don't talk politics because it's best not to, because they'll be screaming at each other. You know, that's sad.
He's lived in Michigan his entire life and has seen the very auto plants that once sustained him and his family shuttered.
The union and the middle class built this country. And when you take away from them, you're hurting everybody.
This week, a GM plant in nearby Warren will close its doors, one of 5 to close by the end of the year.
And my membership's term.
Ghana Goodwin-Dye is the president of her local chapter of the United Automobile Workers Union that represents the plant's workers.
It started hitting me last week because I had to walk the floor and say good luck to my family. We've been together for over 30 years, and that was one of the hardest things that I've had to do.
One of those displaced workers, Regina Dooley, has a message for those politicians on the debate stage.
Don't tell me, show me. Show me, because everybody's telling me to dream, but live up to what you're saying.
In Michigan, the economy isn't the only issue taking center stage. Candidates uniting against the president over the nation's racial divide.
How do you convince primary voters that you'd be the best nominee to take on President Trump and heal the racial divide in America?
We'll call his racism out for what it is and also talk about its consequences. It doesn't just offend our sensibilities to hear him say, send her back, about a member of Congress because she's a woman of color, because she's a Muslim American. It is also changing this country.
Minutes away from the Fox Theater is Dearborn, Michigan. home to the largest Muslim population in the United States.
Being from Dearborn has this close-knit, beautiful, homey feeling that you can't get anywhere else.
Yasmin Kadir, along with Rima Fadlallah and Malak Wesna, are the voices behind Dearborn Girl, a podcast for local Arab and Muslim women. They say it's important to use their platform to discuss issues like politics and identity.
It's very ironic because people ask, like, how do you, as a Muslim American, feel represented by this old white Jewish guy? And I am going to support Bernie because this is who my first choice candidate is. He has shown that his policies not only are consistent from when he was fighting civil rights to now, but I also think that he listens.
Yasmin, the self-proclaimed politics junkie, attended both nights of the debate.
It's very exciting because Bernie's about to come on.
We have got to take on Trump's racism, his sexism, xenophobia, and come together.
We need to call out white supremacy for what it is, domestic terrorism, and it poses a threat to the United States of America.
There have been positive consequences of having this man as president in that people are starting to be more aware of that.
But he didn't invent racism. That's one 100%. thing. He just gave racism a mainstream platform.
My favorite parts of what America is today are on the backs of people of color and immigrants.
This country was built on immigrants, and like now it's like, what does it mean to be American, you know? And it's constantly being questioned. And
right.
Immigration, another hot-button issue tonight, with the former vice president disagreeing with his former HUD secretary, Julian Castro, on illegal border crossings.
If, in fact, you say you can just cross the border, what do you say to all those people around the world who, in fact, want the same thing to come to the United States and make their case, but they don't, that they have to wait in line?
Mr. Vice President, it looks like one of us has learned the lessons of the past and one of us hasn't. Let me begin by telling you.
It's a personal issue for these young women. They were born here, but almost all of their parents emigrated from Lebanon.
If you talk to anyone in Dearborn, a big thing would be immigration. It's a scary thing because you look at your community being attacked and you think about, who do I know that is going to be affected by this issue?
Obamacare is working. The way to build this and get to it immediately is to build on Obamacare.
Progressive policies like Medicare for All were front and center on the debate stage.
But why do we got to be the party of taking something away from people?
No one is the party.
That's what they're running on. They're running on telling half the country that your health insurance is illegal.
So look, let's be clear about this. We are the Democrats. We are not about trying to take away health care from anyone. That's what the Republicans are trying to do.
I feel like the first half is just going to be like everyone fighting about Medicare for all.
Back in Macomb County, right across from their Trump-supporting neighbor,
Ooh, get 'em.
A group of proud Democrats gathered to watch and grade the candidates.
This is why Elizabeth is better than Bernie. She can actually get personal. Bernie is incapable of being personable.
Healthcare is a human right, not a privilege. I believe that. I will fight for that.
The problem that I have with the Medicare for all kind of thing is that it's just going to make other people lazy.
Why should you get better health insurance because you have more money? Like, that's immoral. And maybe we should stop being concerned about what Republicans will say. They'll call anything socialist.
It is time to stop worrying about what the Republicans will say. Look,
I feel like I just said that.
If it's true that if we embrace a far-left agenda, they're going to say we're a bunch of crazy socialists.
Amen.
If we embrace a conservative agenda, you know what they're going to do? They're going to say we're a bunch of crazy socialists. So let's just stand up for the right policy, go out there and defend it. That's the policy I'm putting.
For these voters, falling in step with some candidates and out of step with others.
This is why he has 0% in the polls.
In a swing state where everyone knows every vote matters.
ABC News and Univision will host the next Democratic debate September 12th and 13th.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.